Howdy, howdy. I'm Frank, and welcome to this kind of video art vlog thing. Just mainly me just wanting to talk about stuff that's been going on, what I have plans for the future, what I'm currently working on, and stuff like that. Uh, what you see in the background here is essentially a redraw of the Graphix Aqua Pens cover art, which I did a stream or video of a while ago. I forget if it's still on my channel or not. I might have privated it. But yeah, it's essentially something that I did a redraw of once. I rushed it and it came out not very good. So I decided to redo it because it kind of was eating at me and I really wanted to do it good. And even though there's still parts of it I don't like, the face is a bit asymmetrical. Uh, the inking I could have done better, stuff like that. But I'm much happier with it. I think it's an actual upgrade from what the original cover art was, which I'm betting the cover art was probably done by like the markers like kid or something like that. Uh, I hope it was done by the markers kid because if it was someone who was hired to do it, uh, they were probably pretty young, and I hope they didn't get paid in exposure. That's that's usually like my biggest worry when I see these kind of cover arts. Is that what I just instantly think of? It's like someone was probably scammed out making this for them, and they were probably really young and probably didn't get a very good deal because I'll be honest, the cover art's not that good. But you know, even if it isn't good, it's whoever drew on it should have still gotten a fair deal. And that's the thing I worry about the most when I see this kind of thing, because it's probably just someone who's young and just didn't really uh, probably get like a good deal out of it. Anyway, enough on that. uh, just my personal thoughts on the cover. Even though I am happy with this piece of art, I think it could still do better. One thing about the aqua pens is that they kind of tear up the paper a bit and they don't go well on wet surfaces. So you'll see later on in the video when I'm coloring it, I tend to just use a watercolor brush and just dab it on the pen nibs because that was just way more effective. Uh, but anyway, future plans, future plans. As you can tell, this isn't not isn't scripted at all, but my general future plans right now are mainly working on the Tezuka International Contest. With it, I'm going to use it as a finally like a driving motivation to actually finish a project for once. I've gone to finish projects, not to finish project. I started plenty of projects, got a fair bit through them, but never really got the motivation or the mental will to actually finish them. This is because I talk about this a while. I'm very self-critical to the point of being crippling, uh, where I'm so self-critical to myself that I end up talking myself out of doing anything or just preventing myself from having motivation to finish something. And when it comes to creative projects, you need motivation. That's just how it is. Even if you end up hating it, like motivation's what drives you past it and to finish it. So that's you know, and since I'm so self-critical of myself, I just end up not finishing anything. I just end up just scrapping things, leaving things unfinished. I probably have almost finished a first chapter of a story probably over 10 times now. And it takes a really long time for me to like get back at it again because it's just so self-defeating. I feel pretty much like a failure a lot of the time, and I have essentially lost the joy of drawing and creating. But I don't stop trying to create things because it's something I want to do. It's something that I find enjoyable, something I'm really passionate about. But passion can only get you so far if you cannot keep up your motivation. And I pretty much set myself up to essentially just fail at that because I just became so self critical at the start. So with this Tezuka contest, I want to have fun doing it. And in order for me to do that, I need to kind of quell my self criticisms by giving myself a bit of a structure. Uh, and with it, the best way to do it is to essentially just schedule out when I consider my deadlines to start something and to get something finished. Uh, So when it comes to that, um, pretty much by the, I think it is the, let me look at my calendar. So by the 10th of June is my personal deadline for getting started on the storyboard, and then by July 10th is my deadline for starting the manuscript, because that's like the minimum amount of time I would need to get things done. And I have started on the storyboard, and I'm pretty happy with how the character designs are going. I'm essentially reworking a concept I had for essentially a fan fiction into more of an original story. Uh, Essentially, just taking like the original character I had for that and just reworking a story around them and making it interesting, stuff like that. And honestly, I would want to win the contest. Like, that's kind of like the fun of entering a contest, is that you want to win. But I mainly want to use this to mainly try to just finish something for once. And that's just my goal with this. I'm not, like, obviously I have like story ideas for past, like the one shot idea and stuff like that. Then like if I want to continue it, I have like a story arc and plan for it. But mainly I just want to focus on just trying to get it finished, even if it's not finished in time for the contest itself. I still want to get it done, because it doesn't matter what kind of stories you have if you can't get anything done. And I have a really bad case of sunk cost fallacy, where I'm like, oh, I'm 23, I could have something done by now. I could probably finish a series or two if I just stop being such a like a self-pity, I hate drawing now, why can't I finish anything kind of person. And then that gets in my mind, that makes me feel more down, and then I draw less, and I do less stuff. And like I can't even storyboard without getting like really just emotionally down on myself, and that's not even supposed to look good or be good at the start. That's something that you're just meant to like do to like get the bad ideas out and stuff. And I'm even super self-critical about that. Like, I'm self-critical about my storyboard art, which is like not what the storyboard's meant for. Literally, professional storyboards are just stick figures with just a basic facial detail on it, just so you can tell which character it is. That's literally all storyboard is. But I tend to make mine a bit too detailed and stuff, and it's bad. It's really bad. I really need to like cool down on that sort of thing, especially when it comes to this project. Yeah. So what I mainly want to kind of like talk about here is just mainly just, hey, I just want to make videos about it, make videos about the Tezuka contest. Honestly, this image that I'm drawing here is obviously just more something that just was kind of eating away at me, and just wanted to get it done and record it and stuff to kind of prove to myself, hey, like, hey, I can draw half decent. And yeah, I try to go for like different kinds of camera angles during this recording process, but sometimes I just forget that like it's not on screen. Sometimes when I'm drawing or inking, or sometimes coloring. But yeah, I was originally going to use the black aqua pen to ink it, but I really did not like how the lines came out, and I wanted to like this drawing. So instead of making it like the full challenge idea of recreating the cover art with just the art supplies themselves, I decided just to just trying to make it look good, which is the point. I try to use the supplies as much as possible. Try to fit in the black aqua pen for like doing the collar and stuff like that. But yeah, I really like how the line art itself came out. Probably the most out of all of this. So much so that I literally took like an entire day's break to try to like psych myself up into like, hey, you can color this, you can do it. Yeah. There's always something satisfying just watching like a time lapse of a drawing, even if it's one of your own. Like, I just think it's neat. It's like kind of like one of my favorite things just to watch is like real time lapse inking. Something about it is just really nice to just kind of look at. It's very satisfying, even if the inking's not the best job. I'm also kind of unhappy with how the skirt came out. I don't do a lot of like, what is it, pleated skirts is what it's called. I was really, it took me a while to figure out how to do that like under bit, where it like kind of like folds up and you see how it folds, and that required a lot of thinking because that's a lot of complex or just simple shapes that make a very complex shape. Because when you think about it, a lot of complex shapes are just simple shapes just smashed together in a very specific way. But that's the key point, the very specific way. Yeah. So, I guess going back to the Tesla contest, is that there's also a few people on Twitter and a Discord server who I'm talking to and stuff who are doing also the Tesla contest as well, and we're all just kind of like working towards it. We're trying to keep each other motivated and stuff. The Discord's been pretty dead because everyone's just like, oh man, making manga is hard. And no one wants to talk about the lack of progress they made. At least I don't for myself. Yeah, because there's a lot to consider when making a just any series for any kind of creative medium. Is that you gotta think of characters, how they look, how consistent their personalities are going to be, how they're going to grow and change, the world that's they're going to be in. One thing I'm very like, I guess, self-conscious about is how the world's going to look. I don't want to look like generic Fantasyland number 3, but I wanted to like try to have its own identity. But I'm not very good at architecture. That's something I need to practice. But then, like, that's like one of the things I like, worry about and stuff like that. That I get really self-conscious, and then it's self-critical, and then just lack of confidence and self-esteem, and then just it's a downward spiral and stuff. And it's just like, why am I like this? Even though practice is literally you trying to get better, trying to get the bad drawings out and trying to understand things. But if I don't get things within the first few practices, then I feel like, oh, it's all pointless. I shouldn't be drawn. And it's just like, why? It's just, it's a very big battle with yourself. Like, and like I don't even compare myself to other artists like as much anymore. Like, I used to do it a lot when I was younger, but like ever since I was like, I would say like when I was 19 is probably like when I stopped doing it. But then I start comparing it to what I want stuff to look like and how I'm not making it look like. And stuff. It is like drawing in concept is so simple. It's literally just drawing something that looks cool. Like, people know what looks cool. Like, when we see something that looks cool, we're like, oh, that's cool, or that's neat, that's cool, that's awesome. I'm saying cool a lot. Cool. But you get what I mean. We understand what is aesthetically pleasing. Because, that's how people react to stuff. But we can't, even if we have, like, a clear image, like, I have a very clear image how I want things to look in my head, but I can't put it down on paper. Even though all I have to do is just make the lines. I know what good anatomy looks like. I know what a face looks like. I know what a building looks like. Even with reference, it's just like, it's just so infuriating. It's like, why does my hand not make the lines I want it to make? Even with practice. It's just like frustrating. And it's just, I want to get better. Like, it's like, do I want to be the best around? Like, I don't know. I just want to be the best that I want to see my art be. Is probably like the best way to put it. Like, I honestly don't care how it looks compared to other people. I just want it to look like how I want it to look like. It kind of almost like a very selfish way of like, kind of like wanting my art. It's like I don't care if like anime is totally overdone. I don't care if my style isn't the most unique ever. I just want it to look like how I want it to look. I just want it to look cool. And stuff. Like, I have a very specific idea how I want things to look. And because of that, like, I get very hard on myself. Like, you know, I just wanted to get it done. Um, and I'm very notoriously impatient. Like, I am a very impatient person. Um, like, I know I can draw fast, and I know I'm a generally, like, faster drawer than the average person, but sometimes, like, I just draw too fast to the point where, like, my quality ends up suffering because I'm just, you know, just super just very impatient with myself, and that impatience shows a lot through my art, and that's partially why I'm really bad at like perspective and technical drawing, because that requires just a lot of time, just time. Like, it's even if you're fast, it still takes a while, and because of that, like, you just kind of have to like just deal with it and just, learn to take things slowly, and that's partially where like the whole fun withdrawing thing and how it kind of died out for myself kind of ended up hurting me the most, because I'm no longer having fun withdrawing, uh, especially back in high school, and how like the habits were really just my overly self-critical habits were just kind of like catching up with me. Like, I just couldn't learn because I just needed more time to learn. I wasn't just starting out anymore. Like, just drawing and learning takes more time as you get older, because you see less significant improvements, because you always improve like the same rate, if not faster, as you get better. It's just that you're at such like a high level essentially that, yeah, you might be leveling up, like, let's say 5 times faster than you were when you're at level 1, because you get access to more info, more knowledge, more experience. This stuff compounds on each other. It's still just a drop in the bucket if you're like level 9,000 or something. Uh, and master artists are like at like level 20,000, and I'm like only like halfway there, which is a lot closer than you might think, because, like I said, it's exponential. You just, need to take your time on certain things, and then you see better results. It's like you get exponentially more out of something if you're able to take your time to learn, and, you know, let yourself just accept mistakes and stuff like that. Because if you can't accept the mistake, then it's hard to, like, even if it's like, it's a mistake, you need to not do it. Like, it's kind of hard to accept it in a general sense, to the point where you just kind of need to like kind of take them as they come and deal with them, and not just try to ignore it and try to just draw better. No, you need to like acknowledge it, accept it, and then you can move past it, rather than just saying like, no, I can do better, I can do better and stuff. Like, no, you just need to kind of like just accept where you are right now so you can move on, sort of thing. But yeah, probably like the thing that I really wanted to do with the Tesla contest the most. I feel like I said that several times. The thing I wanted to do the most with it is just to learn how to have fun making stuff again. Uh, because when I first started, like, I just made stuff. Like, yeah, it wasn't manga because I was always told by like, really good creatives that you don't have to start right now. You could practice and be better. No, like, I'll say this to any beginner: if you want to make manga, you want to like make YouTube videos, you want to like make comics, movies, just make stuff. Just go and make it. Don't think you need to achieve some sort of arbitrary like skill level to do something. Yeah, will it come out good? No, it won't. But that's how you get better, is to do it, learn from it, and then do it again. That's how you get better, and I wish I had that mentality when I started, so that I could, make stuff. Like, yeah, my first probably like 3 series I probably could have made since I was like, I don't know, 11, maybe like 4 or 5 if I just abandoned projects left and right. uh, but as long as I got stuff done, like, yeah, it might have been bad, but I can at least say, hey, I at least done this. I have experience in this. Even though I understand how to make a manga on a very technical level, doesn't matter if you just don't do it, you know? But yeah, that's what I would just say to people. Just focus on just making the stuff you want to make. And eventually, as long as you're willing to improve, see your mistakes, accept them, and then learn from them, you can always be better and just learn how to do good and stuff. And that's what I'm trying to learn from this contest, is to just learn how to make stuff again and not worry about it being the highest quality ever. Do I want to win the contest? Yes, I do. So I'm putting a lot of effort into it. But I'm not going to hold myself to a standard of quality and say, oh, I'm not good enough to do this. And no, I'm just going to go, yeah, like, I did this. I don't have to worry about it being, like, something that if I don't do a certain level, then I just shouldn't do it at all. No, I'm just going to make it. Yeah. And that's pretty much all I got to say for now. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the drawing and stuff. And yeah, I guess see you all next video. I guess the next video would be like an update on where I am if I started storyboarding early, which I did start a little bit early, but just only the first page for now. But hey, it's the first page. As the old saying goes, a walk of 1,000 miles starts with one step, or whatever. That's me trying to be cheesy. Anyway, see you later.